Welcome to DK Champ. So I don't even really want to talk about last night's slate. Basically, if you didn't have Harden in your lineups, then you struggle for the rest of the night. Anytime one of these studs goes for 80-plus points, it really diminishes the chances that you will perform well, and that happened tonight. I did have him in a couple GPP picks, and I did cash in those lineups, but the ones where I was trying to stay mid-tier did not perform as well because Harden hogged so many points there. So I hope you did well last night regardless. But looking at today's slate, we are looking at some pretty good matchups. One matchup that I like is the Charlotte-New York game. Should be decent here. Expecting a lot out of Kemba. And that's pretty much, there's several things, like it's Batum's birthday, yada, yada, yada. All these little factors that you can kind of take into consideration when you're picking lineups. And I like to play guys on their birthdays. For some reason, that just seems to be a day when they can go off. But going back, I really like this Washington-Brooklyn game as well. This should be very, very fast-paced and should be a lot of scoring. This should be a pretty fun game to stack. If you wanted to stack a game, this would be the one, I think. And the other game that you could potentially stack is going to be Golden State and Sacramento. So you could stack any of these. I'm liking these a lot. And then looking at value, there's a lot of value on this Denver piece with a lot of people being out and injured. A lot of this is not final yet, a lot of questionable, so we'll have to kind of play that by ear and see what happens. But, that's kind of the way to start looking at the slate. I like those two games a lot. Fast-paced game, should be a lot of scoring. And then you have a couple of injuries on the other teams, and that should be good as well. So looking at some of my value, or looking at my top picks, the guys that I'm liking the best are mostly guards, and the ones that I'm liking the best are Westbrook, Curry, and Kemba, and I like Wall as well. I'm not going to mess around with Kyrie. I think he's been playing very, very well recently, but I don't like him at Atlanta or playing against Atlanta for the blowout potential. So another person, if you want to go some value, is Bledsoe. And that's pretty much it for point guards. Shooting guards, like we said, Bledsoe. Like Bazemore again. And that's pretty much it for that. J.J. Redick potentially, just depending on injuries. Moving down the line, forwards. I'm not seeing a lot of forwards that I really want to pay up for. If I am going to pay up, probably be Tatum. Bazemore I told you. Jaylen Brown, depending on how that works out. But when you get down here to, some of these other people, I really like the Denver core here in this. There's a lot of potential. You have to kind of see what the starting lineup's going to be and kind of base yours off of that. But Gomez, Lyles, both have potential to get in and play a lot of minutes. And Gomez has been doing it without the injuries, and there are some injuries that are holding some people back. So these two guys are two to watch. And then let's go to all forwards and do that again. Depending on what the starting lineup is, I could see myself putting in Plumlee, Lyles, and Gomez in the same lineup. Kind of stack that Denver OKC game and just hope that it goes, close and stays tight the whole time, so everybody's staying in. But with all the injuries, with Millsap out and Barton still out, it should free up some of these guys to play some extra minutes. And Plumlee has just been lights out for the minutes that he gets in. Same thing for Lyles, and Gomez has been doing it without the injuries, like I said. So that's kind of that. Center, I'm not a big fan of the top two here tonight. Whiteside's been out, so I'm not a big fan of him. I do like John Collins. And moving down the line, you could take a risk on Nance again. I don't think he's aggressive enough to do. I thought he'd be able to snag some more boards in the last game, and he didn't do it. So I'm fading him at least today. Jared Allen has a chance to really get out and go up against, a rookie center and should be a fast-paced game. He runs the floor a little bit better, so that could be a good position there. Potentially, Baines is probably going to be a decent option for you tonight, considering Hartford is still out, so keep an eye on him. He went off last time he was there. Playing against Atlanta is probably going to be a decent little chunk for him. Plumlee, we talked about, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to start my core five here with Baines. I think he's in a really good spot to perform well, and that's why I've got him here. Next one that I like is going to be Plumlee. And he is listed at forward or center, power forward or center. And then I'm going to go big on these. I usually don't do this, but considering the matchups, I think that you have to have Curry, and then you can come down and get, did that wrong. Curry's not listed as shooting guard. You got to go Kemba, then Curry. And then that leaves you 55 for the rest of your guys. One more person that I'm going to suggest, like I said, Bledsoe, if you can fit him in there. Dinwiddie has had a pretty good run here recently. It should be a pretty solid game for him. You can see he's been playing very, very well. And last time against Washington, he didn't perform that well, so I expect him to really step it up because the first time he played him, he played very, very well. Playing at Brooklyn, he is an absolute beast. So Dinwiddie would be the one guy that I'd remove from these. I'm comfortable with these top four. Dinwiddie is going to be the guy that I'm questioning, and I'll probably mix him and match him a little bit with, Bledsoe. And that's pretty much it. Bazemore, probably. Bazemore should be starting. I'm actually going to switch that and say I'm a 50-50 on these two guys, Bazemore and let's see if we can go back. Brooklyn. I'm probably not going to put these guys in the same lineup, but I will just for this purpose. I'm kind of 50-50 on these two guys. I think both of them have good upside here. Two good matchups for them. So like Dinwiddie just a slight bit more, but I can't discount the fact that Bazemore is probably going to get in and play too. So that's how I'm going to start out. I hope that this helps you all, and good luck tonight.